Like all extraction shooters, at its core, DMZ is all about resource management. Over the last 3 videos, we've looked at regaining operators on Vondel, Ashika, and Al Mazrah. But what other resources do we all need to be successful in the DMZ?
Guns. Lots of guns.
That's right, Mr. Anderson. So over the next few videos, we're going to take a look at the weapons that we can find out in the DMZ sandbox, starting with the most popular category, the assault rifles. Now, to make the criteria for this list, we do need to be able to find them in world. So that does mean the M13C, the Advancer, the Geist, and the Tempest Razorback will not be on this list. I've also left the M16 off just because that sounds like pain and suffering. So we'll take a look at some weapon stats, I'll find a build on YouTube to try, and then we'll jump in game. If Warzone Hub is the place to go for your map knowledge, then sym.gg is the place to go for your gun knowledge. There's a lot of information here and you can get all the good stuff, TTK, RPM, range, ADS. It also has a virtual gun builder so you can kit your gun out and see how that's going to affect the stats. So to make this a little bit more easy to digest, I've decided to look just at time to kill, with the 10 assault rifles, starting at number 10, the Lachmann 556. So the Lachmann has a TTK of 890, it has an RPM of 723, it has a base range of 30 meters and an ADS speed of 230. The build I've picked comes from Metaphor, who runs a Seiken thread, which I have swapped out for the Harbinger D20 just as a solo DMZ player. The Ralph 15.9 barrel, the FTAC Ripper 56 underbarrel, the AMOP V4 and a 40 or 60 round mag. The 40 round does have less handling penalty over the 60 round mag. Now with the wrap barrel, you do push the range out to 40 meters, and as you can see, this thing's pretty sweet. Even though it has the lower damage, it has comparable accuracy to the M13B, so definitely don't sleep on this one. At number 9 is the TAC 56 with a TTK of 871, an RPM of 625, a base range of 24 meters and an ADS of 240. Now most people by now know that you can get the one on top of Al Mazrah Tower, and there's also the gold one you can find in the university at Vondel. For the build I've decided to go with Al Clapton's build, and he runs the Harbinger D20, the 17.5 Tundra barrel, the FTAC Ripper 56, the AMOP V4 and a 60 round mag. With the Tundra barrel you push the range out to 34 meters. Now the TAC 56 was really popular in the early seasons of DMZ, but after a series of nerfs it's left it a bit mid, but it's still fairly consistent. At number 8 is the ISO Hemlock, with a TTK of 870, an RPM of 600, a base range of 23 meters and an ADS of 260. So the Hemlock is pretty easy to find as it is dropped by most of the Coney bots, and there's also the gold one inside the fire station on Vondel. Now the YouTuber I've picked is Andres DMZ, and he runs an Icarus 80, the Fielder T50 barrel, the Edge 47 grip, the Cronin Mini Pro and the 45 round mag. Now Andres is a bit of a beast PvP player on Ashika Island, so he has built this for speed. It is a nice gun to use, but like the TAC 56, the nerfs have left it a bit mid. At number 7 is the fan favourite M13B, with a TTK of 844, an RPM of 845, a base range of 30 meters and an ADS of 230. Most people know that you can get the one off the chemist on Al Mazrah, and there's also the gold one in the room that you need to swim to on Vondel. The build I've gone with is from the DMZ GOAT, Mr. Fixate himself, which consists of the Harbinger D20, the 14-inch Echelon barrel, the VX Pineapple underbarrel, the AMOP V4 and the 60 round mag. Even though the M13B is sitting in the bottom half for damage, this thing's an absolute laser and it fires pretty fast, so this is the one that should be your go-to if you're on the struggle bus. At number 6 is the M4 with the TTK of 781, an RPM of 811, a base range of 27 meters and an ADS of 240. Super common to find around all of the maps, and you do find some of the tier 3 bots will have one that's suppressed with a laser on it. Now the build I've gone for is a young Australian content creator named Martonic, and he runs a super common build with the Harbinger D20, the Hightower 20-inch barrel, the FTAC Ripper 56 underbarrel, the AMOP V4 and the 60 round mag. Now I feel like the M4 doesn't specialise in any one thing in particular, but it is a jack of all trades, so definitely a good one to have in your contraband stash. Breaking into the top 5 of the Cast Off 545, it has a TTK of 768, It has an RPM of 652, a base range of 24 meters, and ADS of 250. Now the Cast-Off 545 you can find as one of the 3 guns that you'll get from HVTs, and the build I've picked comes from IQ. Now he runs the Heibinger D20 muzzle, the IGK 30 460mm barrel, the AIM-OP V4. Instead of running an underbarrel, he runs high velocity and the 60 round mag. I don't see a whole lot of people running the Cast-Off 545, but I was really surprised at how consistent this was with its accuracy, so I would definitely highly recommend you guys try this one. In the number 4 spot is the Cast-Off 762. It has a TTK of 762, an RPM of 600, a base range of 27 meters, and an ADS of 280. Now, the Cast-Off 762 is quite easy to find as it is dropped commonly by the Coney bots, and the build that I've picked comes from Cross the Crown. Now he quite commonly bounces between the Polarfire S and the second thread. He also runs the Cast-Off 584mm barrel, the FTAC Ripper 56, the SZ Recharge DX, and the 40 round mag. Now it's a fairly solid assault rifle with good range and hard hitting, but you do need to be on point with your recoil control. Into the top 3 with the Cast-Off 74U. It has a TTK of 732, an RPM of 652, a base range of 22 meters, and the fastest ADS at 225. Now it's a super common Al Mazrah as it gets dropped by the bots all the time, and you can find it commonly on Ashika and on Vondel in crates. The build I've gone for is from Marcus GG. He runs an Echoline GSSX, he runs a SA Ultra 3 barrel, he runs the Lock Grip Precision 40, the Cora Laz 44 V3 laser, and 45 round mag. Now this one really surprised me. It's really fun to use, but you do need to use it in close range. Think of it as a SMG AR hybrid. At the number 2 spot is the STB 556. It has a TTK of 721, an RPM of 741, a base range of 17 meters, and an ADS of 304. Now I hadn't seen this one in the loot pool for a while, but it started popping back up in crates, and the build I've gone for is from Marcus GG again, running with the Bruin Traco 686mm barrel with integrated suppressor, the Demo Firm Grip underbarrel, the AIM-OP V4, the Stipple Grip 40, and the 42 round mag. Now I do find this one is a little bit hard to use as it has one of the shortest ranges of the ARs, so maybe better to a team player rather than a solo. And finally, in the number 1 spot, the Chimera, formerly known as the Honey Badger from Call of Duty Ghosts. Now this has an SMG-like TTK of 697, an RPM of 800, a base range of 23 meters, and an ADS of 240. Now for whatever reason, I commonly find this down in the Koche complex. The build for the Chimera I've gone with is from a UK creator named He Is Z. He runs with the X-Tech Ripper 56 underbarrel, the Slimline Pro optic, the TRX 56 stock, the D37 grip, and the 45 round mag. Much like the Cast-Off 74U, this makes a perfect sniper support weapon. Right, just so to recap and sum things up, the TAC 56 and the Hemlock have been nerfed so much that they're mid. The Cast-Off 762, you need to be on point with your recoil control. The STB 556 struggles with range and ADS. The M13B, the Cast-Off 545, the M4 and the Lachman 556 are all good general all-rounders for solo players. The Cast-Off 74U and the Chimera are great for sniper support. And there we have it. This one was a real marathon. I've been collecting footage for this over the last 2 weeks, so hopefully you guys have found this informative and or entertaining. If you have, drop me a like. If you want to stick around for the next one, which is going to be on the SMGs, hit the subscribe button. And as always guys, until next time, I'll catch you all out there in the DMZ.